Housing is still a large problem in Catalonia, even years after the start of the economic crisis. And the suicide of a man who was about to be evicted shows the urgent need for reforms. Hello, and welcome to Catalan News. Rents in Barcelona continue to rise, forcing many people to leave the city center, a place that is no longer affordable. Last year, more than 2,500 people were evicted from in the city alone, most of them because they couldn't pay rent. You might remember that, years ago, the problems were with unaffordable and abusive mortgage contracts. Today we'll explore this issue in depth in Catalonia as authorities race to stop a social crisis that is literally taking lives. And we'll also get you the latest in the political sphere, as today Parliament presented a lawsuit against the Spanish Supreme Court for violating the political rights of MPs who are currently in jail. And not all parties agreed. 9 Catalan leaders are behind bars and 5 are still elected MPs. They are allowed to vote by proxy from prison, but the judge will not let them leave jail to attend debates, not even when some of them were put forward as presidential candidates. In fact, Jordi Turull was incarcerated in the middle of his own investiture debate, before he had time to face a second round of voting. And the Speaker of the House thinks that this is a violation of their political and fundamental rights.
As the debate on Catalan leaders in jail heats up, the Parliament Speaker, Roger Torrent, is pressing charges on behalf of the Chamber against the Spanish Supreme Court judge overseeing the independence case. He criticises the fact that presidential candidates in jail or abroad were not allowed to be sworn in, calling this a violation of rights.
A la defensa dels drets polítics, a la defensa dels drets civils, no ens podem moure ni un mil·límetre. Ni una mica.
Unionist Ciutadans, the biggest individual party in the chamber, opposed the move, saying it won't be carried out in their name. They instead accused Torrent of not acting on behalf of all Catalans, but only for those who are in favour of independence.
Hoy el señor Torrent ha vuelto a actuar como un forofo de la independencia y no como el presidente del Parlamento de todos los catalanes, porque el señor Torrent es el presidente del Parlamento y también lo es de los diputados que no pensamos igual que el señor Torrent.
Meanwhile, Catalunya en Comú Podem, which is neither for nor against independence, gave their support to the Speaker.
Nosaltres entenem que és correcte que el president del Parlament vulgui defensar els drets polítics dels diputats i diputades. En tot cas, nosaltres creiem que ara la prioritat està en trobar solucions concretes a les que tenim avui damunt de la taula i especialment a la situació dels presos.
The Catalan president, Quim Torra, of the pro-independence group Junts per Catalunya, has repeatedly called for the release of those still behind bars, or at least for them to be transferred closer to home. It will be one of the key issues on the table when he meets with the new Spanish Premier Pedro Sánchez in the near future. But for Torra, it's not a matter of debate.
No ha de ser objecte de negociació. Sobre els presos polítics, nosaltres volem solucions. No haurien d'estar ni imputats per les causes que se'ls estan jutjant. És més, haurien d'estar en llibertat.
Until today, it was unclear whose decision it was to transfer the jailed leaders closer to home or not. While Sanchez argued it was up for Judge Pablo Llarena to decide, the judge contended that it was the Spanish government's responsibility. Yet now, after days of uncertainty, Spain's prison service has said it's up to the Spanish executive to make the first move.
Barcelona is an attractive city for investors from all around the world. And while many put their money in enterprises and startups, many others also buy buildings or apartments, and some then speculate with them. Rent prices in the Catalan capital have risen dramatically in the last few years, and so have the number of evictions of tenants who can no longer afford to pay them. The Catalan government and the city council want to stop this social crisis, which is reaching dramatic levels.
A man who took his life when he was about to be evicted has put the housing crisis back in the spotlight. The incident occurred in Cornellà de Llobregat, near Barcelona. The city council had warned the judge of the man and his partner's vulnerable situation on 3 occasions, but this didn't stop the eviction.
La propietat d'aquest habitatge és el Banc Popular i l'Ajuntament estem estudiant iniciar algun tipus d'acció perquè no entenem aquesta pressa, no entenem per què no se'ns ha pogut ajornar, més enllà, evidentment, de pensar en una especulació pura i dura.
Evictions skyrocketed as the recession unfolded almost a decade ago, but some people resisted. They came together under the Platform for People Affected by Mortgages, which had local groups all across the country. With close to 4,000 evictions in Catalonia last year, the work of such associations goes on.
Ayer hemos parado 3 desahucios y nos hemos enterado de esta tragedia después de haber parado el último desahucio. Y es una consternación para nosotros porque quizás si hubiera venido a la asamblea pues podríamos haber hecho algo más.
The political impact of the housing crisis can easily be seen in the fact that Catalonia's capital of Barcelona is governed by a former anti-eviction activist, Ada Colau. Her government now wants new building projects to include 30% of affordable housing.
Amb el volum actual d'operacions d'habitatge privat que hi ha a la ciutat, d'uns entre 350 i 400 habitatges assequibles a l'any.
The Catalan government is studying the measure, but says it could be difficult to put into effect. Yet with a new government in Spain, the Catalan executive also hopes that measures that were previously blocked will begin moving forward.
Vam dissenyar una estratègia entorn de la llei antidesnonaments que després va bloquejar l'Estat. Jo crec que ara mateix podrem veure si hi ha una veritable voluntat de canviar aquestes dinàmiques.
Evictions for unpaid rents have surpassed those for mortgages. The Catalan government wants to extend rent contracts from 3 to 5 years, but the last say, again, could go to Madrid.
Still on social affairs, today the Spanish government has announced it will restore universal healthcare, which could mean good news for Catalonia, which had been fighting for it since it was suppressed by the last conservative government. Back in 2012, Mariano Rajoy's government excluded some 900,000 undocumented migrants from the public healthcare service. Catalonia and other communities such as the Basque Country and Andalusia then passed a bill to ensure everyone continued receiving medical care in public hospitals. But the then Spanish government challenged the Catalan law in the Constitutional Court and suspended it. With the socialists now in charge, this confrontation between Madrid and Barcelona, it seems, will soon be over. Moving on, 4 young Catalan students have designed an obstacle detector system that alerts wheelchair users when something is in the way. Arnau Estanyol, a teenager from Girona who's blind and has cerebral paralysis, will be the first user of this wheelchair, which has 4 sensors placed on different parts. And it's thanks to the device that his autonomy has improved. If something is blocking his path, a warning is sounded. Each alert is different depending on where the obstacle is, so Arnau can move around with more independence. Although he cannot go outside alone, he can do much more than before, and for his mother, this is a life changer.
Li proporciona una autonomia que li provoca molta satisfacció, no? I ell una superació també, no?
Moving on to culture. In a week, Tarragona will become the Mediterranean capital of sports, and it will play host to the Mediterranean Games. So if you plan on visiting this southern capital in the next few days, and if you want to discover more about its history, check this out. The National Archaeological Museum of Tarragona is opening its doors in a temporary location right by the port. There, you will be able to see the 200 archaeological pieces of the museum, which explain the history of Tarraco, the old Roman city. The museum, which is 100 years old, has thousands of pieces from ancient times, but its main venues is currently under development, so that's why the port area has now surprisingly become a Roman temple. We've been talking about it for weeks. One of the most awaited events of the year, the innovative electronic music festival, Sonar. Yesterday, it finally began. Let's take a look at how it went.
Sonar is in full swing, and with only 24 hours under its belt, it's already shown off the variety of its lineup. Officially inaugurating the long-awaited music festival was the Barcelona Symphony and Catalonia National Orchestra, interpreting a minimal piece by composer Terry Riley. Called In C, this is an auditory experience both structured and improvised. Also breaking down the barriers of tenor were El Niño de Elche and Israel Galvan, reimagining flamenco in its most destructured, visceral form. Of course, though, Sonar also did what Sonar does best, bringing the best in what electronic music has to offer. On Thursday, LCD Sound System's own James Murphy and too many DJs took to the decks, as well as French DJ and producer Laurent Garnier. Then today, music and video met, with musician Refree and director Isaac La Cuesta. Both Catalan their first collaboration reflects on the illusion of freedom on the internet. And that's just the beginning. Tom York, frontman of Radiohead and Atoms for Peace, will also perform on his only European stopover. This, alongside virtual tour de force Gorillaz, debuting their new album, as well as LCD Sound System, Diplo, Mo Selector, Bonobo, and more. Sonar is also more than just a music festival. Over the span of 4 days, Sonar Plus D brings together the most innovative and creative minds in the industry to look at the future of space travel, the internet, artificial intelligence, knowledge itself, and of course, music.
And with this, we finish today's show. Before we go, we want to introduce you, though, to a very special turtle that today made its way to the Catalan coast. Take a look, thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.
Hi ha una